I appreciate you getting on here. Please do me a favor. Please like. All you got to do is hit the like. I'm going to do it right now.
There we go.
Like the show. Comment on the show. Ask us a question. But the best thing you could do for me, Victoria Blaylock, do you know what it would be? Share the love. Share the love. That's all I'm asking you to do. And today, I'm gonna get down into a lot of facts. I'm sorry, they're not facts.
Facts.
They're my opinions, but we might as well call them facts because I believe with certainty what I've got written on this board is what's going to turn out to be true. I believe social. Have you shared this stream yet, Smalls?
All his handwriting has gotten terrible.
It's gotten terrible. I need the love. I need y'all to share this. So if you watch this, share the love out. Now, wait a minute. Have you heard me talking
I got
about
half a head. I'm either in or I'm out. I got to figure out which one.
Jump in there.
Yeah.
So how many people feel like there's a lot of chatter that it's going to slow down next year? How many people have heard that? The real estate market. How many people have heard that?
I've heard it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you, Kathleen?
Sure, yeah.
Have you heard people saying that? Ginger, have you heard anybody saying that? Have you heard the word recession? Have you heard that? What's up, Drew?
I've heard it for 12 years.
It's coming. Jessamine, while you're on your trips, have you heard people say it on your trips where they're saying, man, this real estate market, it's about to cool off. It's about to slow
Our
down.
market is so crazy compared to everywhere else anyway. So.
Okay. Smalls. Have you heard anybody
I've
say?
heard rumblings about that.
Belinda, the problem is that the national Middle Tennessee is so lucky that we stay busy.
Right.
Who else wants to say what you've heard? It's not what you believe, it's what you hear. Anybody?
I've had clients ask if that's going to happen.
And see, these are called pre-appointments. What I mean by that is they're asking you a question before you have an appointment with them.
Yep.
And based off what you say to them, they're going to feel a certain way. And I think that's very important for how agents are educating their people. So I've been someone over the last few months saying it's going to get a little bit tougher in 19. Hadn't I?
Yeah.
I've said it's going to get hard in 2020. And it's really been more of an emotion. It's been more of a way I'm feeling. But I've started digging into some data. Is that how you say data? Data? What's the correct way?
Data.
Data. I had dug into data. And data is telling me something different than what my feelings are telling me. And I think this started in election years, the market slows down a little bit. Second half of the year, it slows down, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What have I been saying?
It's going, you don't want to know what he's been saying.
Well,
so.
I've been overreacting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if it's a
Yeah.
reflection on the market, like the stock market, then
But wait a minute, I want you to tell me that you say this a lot about Nashville and about people moving in. Let's start off with that.
Okay, so Nashville, in my opinion, is like it's already, in my opinion, trumped Atlanta. It's almost like people are going there like going to New York and Vegas. And so Nashville is definitely on the map now for tourism. We have a Predators team, and you don't even have any idea what this soccer is going to bring. People think that the hockey brings people. You have no idea what soccer is going to bring to Nashville. So with all these things going in Nashville, we're within 30 minutes of the interstate to Nashville, and our schools are great, and our price point is great. So even Murfreesboro, the reason we slowed down any last year is because we didn't have any houses. We didn't have any lots ready because we had 4 months of rain. So in 2019 will probably be a stellar year.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Blake Shelton. He made Nashville famous. From The Voice.
He
Yeah.
did. The Voice, the show Nashville, a lot of things. So a lot of things are going our way. But one of the reasons why people feel, I've seen a lot of posts on the Facebook
Yeah.
where people have said, these prices have got to slow down. I can't believe this has happened over the last couple of years. Well, I'm going to start y'all off with fact number one, Smalls. I wish I had some theme music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, in 2006, I made this number up, but I think I'm pretty close. The average sale, or the average price in our area was about $150,000. If this would have appreciated 6%, that might be a little high. If it appreciated 6% over the next 12 years, that would put us about where we are today.
Yep.
But what
And
happened?
tell them what that is. I mean, they just see
That's
240.
$240,000, which is pretty close to really our average sales price is probably in the 260 range. but these are made up numbers that I just made up. So really, if the trend would have stayed, this is about where prices should really be. But what happened in 2008, I moved in with my mama. Hey, the pony boy. Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
2008 came along and prices peaked, and then the bottom fell out of it by 2009, 2010, 2011, probably bottoming out in 2012. If we would have stayed on the current pace, we're at about where our home prices should be right now.
Yep.
That's about where they should be. And I did the simple math. What were you going to say with me?
2008. People got to throw 2008 completely out of their mindset, because 2008 got ruined because of our financing industry. And I hate to say that because people are on here, and I'm not saying it's because of them, but it's because anybody and everybody could get a loan. You didn't have to verify your income, and so you had interest-only loans, and people got in trouble, major trouble, in bigger cities other than ours. So even our city didn't hit it like Chicago, Florida,
Well,
California.
since you've already started talking about that, weatherman, I'm going to skip us down to right here.
Okay.
Today, our market makes up of 3% distressed sales. Do you know what a distressed sale is? That means it's a foreclosure, it's a short sale, it's something like that. Today, 3% of all the sales are distressed sales. January 2012, 35% of all sales were a distressed sale, meaning they were either they were selling short of what they owed, or it's just foreclosed on. And the reason, a lot of people during this time, a lot of people lost their jobs, their business, but a lot of people during this time strategically let things go.
Yep.
They didn't put any money down. Like what you're saying, the type of loan programs out, you could buy a home back in those days, you could 0% down. You really had no skin. You're just getting rid of the payment. You're just getting rid of the obligation.
Seller paid everything.
Now most loans out there are 3.5% down. Katie Robbins, I see you're on here. I don't know if Belinda's on here. What are the majority of the type of loans you're doing today? Well, you're probably doing something where people actually qualify.
Yeah.
So there's more inventory and there's going to be more sales, I believe. The inventories are growing. Do you know what I mean when I say inventory?
Yeah, how many houses are out there?
How many houses are out there? This is a stat, Pony. You need to remember this stat. This is an amazing stat. 48% of all the homes, we can type this down. This is so profound. 48% of all homes have at least 50% equity in their homes.
You gotta say that again. So you threw
48%. Right now.
Right now. Okay.
Right now, 48% of all homes out there have 50% or more equity. That to me, that's a crazy stat that I never would have thought of.
So you're probably gonna have to break that down, because what you're trying to say, if you bought a $200,000 house, it's worth $300,000, right?
Well, what I would say is, if you bought $100,000, let's use the baby numbers.
Okay.
Here's what I'm really saying. If you owned a home for at least 7 years,
There you go.
you probably have 50% equity in your home. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does that make sense, Holly?
Can you say it one more time?
If you've owned your home for 7 years, more than likely you have 50% equity in your home.
And that's a true
85%
comment.
of states are made. 85% of states are made up. Just kidding. Maybe.
Well, that's a very true comment. We built our house 7 years ago, and that's without a doubt. So,
So think about that. If you've owned a home for 7 years, Pony, you probably got 50% equity in there.
That's good news.
That is good news. So think about this. As the market goes up, you're gaining equity. You're paying principal down, you're gaining equity. So I feel pretty certain if you've lived in your home for 7 years, you've got 50%. This stat, Brother Woodall, what's shaking? Thank you for getting on here. So remember this, 48% of all the folks out there have 50% equity. Money gets bored easy.
yeah.
What do you think these people about to start doing? More and more opportunities are coming up. There's more houses. I'm thinking all the time, why would somebody pay $450,000 for these houses?
Because they got $200,000 equity in their house.
They got a lot of money. I'm gonna call this the equity. I can't read my writing. What does that say? equity transfer is what I'm gonna call it right now. So what that means is I'm gonna be able to sell my home, and I'm gonna have, you know, the average house right now is, let's say, $240,000. A lot of people are gonna be able to pull out $100,000, and they're gonna be able to go out and buy these houses. Everybody asks, where's all this money coming from? Well, it's coming from their house, right? Right, Victor? How long have you owned your house?
Just a couple years.
Say if you'd have bought it 7 years ago, you'd have 50%. But the longer you own real estate, the more likely you are.
But if you own it for 2 years, you probably got 20%, because the market jumped crazy numbers in 2 years. So be prepared for it to jump again in 2 more years.
Right now, the average day, and I'm getting somewhere. If everybody's getting bored, by the way, I'm going to give my bold predictions over there. You can barely see my writing. Right now, the average days on market is 30 days in our area. 30 days. Now, in some price points, say 200,000, it might be an hour.
Yeah.
450,000, it might be 30 days. Well, whenever you got new construction, like we just listed some houses last week, that it's probably 100 days from being completed.
Yeah.
So that skews those numbers. So there's a lot of demand. Now, people are saying it's taking longer to sell homes. Well, it's going to have to eventually level out. It's been too ridiculous. So this is going to be a good thing for us. The longer it takes for these houses to sell, we get a lot more leads that come in, right?
Exactly right.
They call in, they want to know information. So this is going to help a lot of agents that it's taking a little bit long, because we've had homes we'd list on Friday and we wouldn't get a call because it would sell so fast. Most new home sales are going to be over $300,000. Why are they going to be over $300,000?
Because infrastructure costs so much. So to buy and develop and produce the lots, the lot costs used to be $40,000 to $50,000 for lots. Now they're $80,000 to $100,000 a lot.
So you're going to see most people building really 350, 400, 450. They're probably going to get skittish as it gets up into the 5 range, but most of the new homes built are going to be 300 and up. This is something, man, just imagine if I would have been smart in 2009 and I would have bought all these homes out there that I could have. I should have borrowed money from people. I should have gone to everybody and said, let's buy up all these houses. The gold is in owning houses under 250,000. Can't reproduce those homes.
Think about the REITs. If we'd have been smart when the REITs were buying, everybody else would have been buying.
We should have done that.
Yeah.
And
But guess what? They're still buying.
They're still buying because they know what I know. They've got the same research I've got now. Because I'm a genius, right, Kathleen? So if you're somebody under $250,000, we can't go out there and we can reproduce your house with a condo. You know, you're going to start seeing.
Yeah, barely.
You're going to see more. I see these new condos coming. They're like $200,000. They don't have garages, but that's what you're competing against, because the new developers can't come out there and put a product out there unless they made it a lot smaller, no garages, 2 bedrooms. Well, I mean, maybe they could do something like that. Now, the one thing that I hear people talk about that spooks them is in interest rates. Can y'all see my writing here? Can y'all see that? Has anybody said, if interest rates are going up, it's going to cause us to get a recession? Interest rates don't cause recessions.
No.
Where's your favorite restaurant, Tony?
Demas's.
Demas's. If Demas's, what's your favorite meal you get there?
Grilled chicken with,
Grilled chicken.
yeah, grilled chicken.
How much is it?
$11.
If it went up 10%, would you still go buy it?
Mm-hmm.
It'd go from $11 to $12, roughly. Are you going to really think about it, or are you still going, if that's what you want, you're going to go get it?
That's what I want.
So I'm showing you the interest rates. Let's say if they go up almost a half a point, from 4.9 to 5.3. Now, I'm not figuring in all the things other than just your principal and interest. But a $250,000 house at 4.9%, is that where the rates are? Somewhere right around there
I
right
think
now.
they're floating around there.
I think that's where they are. So a 4.9% rate, weatherman, is $13.27. Now there's other factors, so I might have to put other news out there. There's no insurance taxes, funding fees, or anything like that. But let's say if they go all the way up to 5.5%, people make a big deal about it, going, you know, it's 5% now, which is cheap. It's 5.2%. Well, let's assume it goes all the way to 5.5%. Now it's $1,419. How do you say that word, Jessamine?
$1,419.
That's right. That's $92 more a month. Are people really going to care, Weatherman?
No. The reason most people care is because somebody along the line has made a bigger issue of it. So 5.5% are great interest rates. We'll probably won't see 3s again. But guess what? When you have a 5% interest rate, you also have ways to buy your rates down. Those come back into play. So if you're worried about your overall price, you have other products out there that can drop your interest rate.
And if you're looking at your total budget, has anybody noticed gas prices have come down? I mean, there's a lot of costs that have come down to if we're looking at the affordability index.
Well, if you have a house built 10, 15 years ago, and you build the same house now, your electric bill's probably $150 cheaper because of the low E factor and the insulation in homes. And
Ooh,
so those are things that nobody even really thinks about with owning a new home.
This was a cool stat, I thought, that I did not make up, Burleson. I did read this. I did read it somewhere. So much more home equity today. There's 21% more equity in homes today than before the recession. 2006, 2007. People have more equity in homes. At the peak before the recession, $850 billion was borrowed against their homes. $850 billion. Today, there's $125 billion outstanding. People aren't near as leveraged in their homes. So whenever people are talking about we're about to have a major correction, what makes these major corrections are really foreclosures. People losing their house. So out of the last 6 recessions over there, that's part of my gold I'm going to give you. Out of the last 6 recessions, only one time have home prices dipped. Now you could say, well, that Schiller index went down just a little bit, one of those recessions, but it wasn't enough to say it was a decline in home prices. Only one time in the last 6 recessions, you know what that was?
One what?
No, there's only been one time where home prices went down in the last 6 recessions.
I don't remember.
It was 2008.
But I come in right about that time, so it was already, when I come in 07, it was already down.
Katie Robbins, the interest rates don't make as big of a difference, and you can make adjustments to bring payment down. Weatherman just said that right there. She's copying your content.
I like her.
So all this said, I feel completely different about the real estate market than I did a month ago, 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because I wasn't really making this gut feeling off of anything other than it's time. It's time. The market has been going strong for 7 or 8 years. Well, really, the market has just been catching up to where it should be. Yep. It was an overcorrection to drive prices down. Now we're having to overcorrect to get prices to where they should be. So now, if I had my drums, we could get into my 2019 bold. Ollie, I see that. Don't be yawning over there. I'm going to get into my 2019 bold predictions. I did this in 2015. We can pull the footage up. And I was right on a lot of that. So I'm not saying I'm always going to be right, but here's number 1. This is going to blow some of y'all's mind when I say this, but we're going to come back next year in 2000. What is
19.
it? No, it'll be 2020. It'll be 2020. And we're going to replay this. In 2019, there's going to be more home sales than in 2018.
I agree.
There will be more home sales in 2019 than 2018. 2019 is going to look more like 2017 as far as home sales. There will be more home sales out there. Okay? Now, a lot of people have talked about prices coming down. They ain't coming down. They're not going to continue to appreciate the same way. 2019, number 2, it's still going to appreciate 4% in our market. There will still be appreciation of real estate in Murfreesboro, Tennessee in 2019. You will, number 3, you will hear more talk of a recession.
Again,
Yes.
every year.
But it's coming this time. That's what, no, it's really, for real. The closer you get to things, the more you talk about it,
Yeah.
and the more fear will control you.
Yeah.
Is this the Florida effect?
No. No. The Floyd effect scared me. Maybe the Floyd effect is just normal. Builders should always be doing pre-sales.
Yeah.
You know, think about how crazy the Floyd effect was when Old South made the decision, it's time to do pre-sales. And I was taking that bit of information and I was going extreme with my thinking it's about to slow down. Well, really, it's about to go to a normal market. 2019 is going to be a normal market. But because of the fear of recession, what will that make people do that are fearing recession? What are they going to start to do?
Oh, they're gonna panic. They ain't gonna do anything.
That's right.
Tighten up their money.
Yeah.
They're gonna get tired, and they're gonna lose opportunities this year.
Yep.
And I'm talking about realtors. So number 4, some will, some won't. Here's what's gonna happen in real estate with agents. Some people are gonna participate and they're gonna make it work, and others, this will be their exit year.
Yeah. Explain that.
What that means is you can allow fear. You talk about fear speaks.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Out of the heart.
So a lot of people
Out of the heart speaks. Yeah.
they're going to be scared, and they're already going to throw in the towel because they're scared. They're already giving up and they don't know it. But I believe there's going to be more inventory. There's going to be more homes to sell. There's going to be more leads. There's going to be so much more opportunity. It's going to give us a better chance. So our belief, our mindset needs to be this. It's going to be a better year. And it is going to be a better year. It's just going to be the choice we make. Do we participate or do we watch? Mm-hmm. So some people have already they've already concluded. I see people on my Facebook talk about how ridiculous this market is and how it's going to slow down. It's got to slow down. Well, I mean, why?
You know why one of the reasons it's not slowing down?
I know one reason.
If you'll go around Rutherford County now, and anybody's been from here seen the growth was crazy. But if you'll start looking at the national builders that are moving into our area, they want some of what Murfreesboro has. They're not investing millions and millions and millions of dollars if they didn't see something. They're very smart cats.
Mm-hmm. Well, what they're doing is they're looking at these trends, and all these trends can predict with great accuracy how many people are going to move here. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they know that, but I do know they seem to get it right. So I think at one time there was like 80 people a day moving into Nashville. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's 100 people a day are moving into this area.
It was 100.
It's 100 people. Maybe it's 500. I don't know what it is. But there's so many people that are moving here. You see, when you go downtown, do you see all those cranes? Those people have done a lot more study than just real estate 101.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
They're seeing how many people are moving here. They're seeing how much money's coming here. They know. So the most important thing I can tell you about 2019, there's going to be more sales. Mm-hmm. There will be more leads. Things are going to be on the market a little bit longer, which will be a good thing, especially if you're trying to find buyers. For sellers, there's going to be a lot of price reductions. There will be more withdrawals, more expired listings because people are crazy for what they think they can get for their house.
They're just, everybody always pushes the envelope.
Yeah.
One time the envelope can only go so high, so that's the ones that end up going back.
That's right.
But that's also because of inexperience sometimes too, because we automatically say, yeah, I think you can do that, and no way in the world is it going to happen. You know, so you got to really be able to be honest too. If you got a 1,200 square foot house in an area that's selling at $199 and you price it at $231, I mean, come on. I mean, you know what? Just because they need a house doesn't mean they're going to pay $40,000 over, because you got to deal with appraisals too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I would still say the most interesting fact is 48% of homes in our country have 50% equity. 50%. Mm-hmm. To me, that's crazy. Cray. Do you have anything else you'd like to say? Does anybody have a question or something you'd like to add? Rabbit?
Yeah, I was gonna add something to it.
Well,
I
add
wrote
it.
down and lost my train of thought.
Well, if you could remember, what would it have been? What would it start with?
I think it was gonna talk about, come back to me.
Well, think about this. So in Rutherford County, so if you're not familiar with Rutherford County, most people are. We have a great workforce in Rutherford County. We have great factories. We have good paying jobs. We have great schools, and we're building more schools. We have great education. We have the #1 school in the state of Tennessee. We also have one of the top.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely. Central Magnet School is the